Welcome to As Info Podcast, a European format showcasing independent journalistic investigations developed in collaboration with local communities. A project designed to inform, delve deeper, and build new grassroots narratives.
Today we'll explore the investigation conducted in Romania by Darius Galbinasu, who looked into the booming industry of child online videos featuring a global giant Cocomelon and its Romanian offspring LooLoo Kids. This investigation reveals a sharp conflict between commercial success and child welfare. While creators make their content as the wholesale entertainment and parents are left alone to deal with the fallout, psychologists warn about its addictiveness as slot machine industry does. What is the main conclusions that you reached after looking into this important topic?
So I will try to stick to the topic and not extrapolate too much, but basically it's an industry that is addressed to kids of under the age of 5 years old, and it uses the most advanced neurological addictive hooks that keeps them engaged in online video content. It's an industry that generates billions in profits, has very limited social responsibility. So all the studies kind of the science focuses on these addictive mechanisms that are employed by the content producers. Meanwhile, we have legislation that should protect kids and people from these type of mechanisms, but they're not being employed as a way to moderate this type of content. And it's kind of running wild as a business and as per the profits that they are generating as well.
How do you see the effects of this phenomenon in your environment, in your community?
It's a widespread phenomenon. These types of videos come into parents' lives and kids' lives at some point to all of us. On the surface, parents seem to be somewhat aware of what this type of content, that it's not the best type of content for their kids. On the other hand, this is only the surface, and there's a lot of background and a lot of thought going into the production of these videos to make them so compelling and to hold the retention and the attention of their viewers. And parents are aware that this is not the best type of content, but in the meantime, they're not aware of the true damage that it can produce and the fact that it can kind of wreak havoc in the minds of young kids that are still evolving and developing their neurological systems and perception of the world.
And when it comes to these, let's say, more scientific things, you have collaborated with experts, and tell us a little bit with the interaction with the experts that you interviewed and work with. How was that? What was the mood from their part?
From the experts, there is a general consensus that this type of content is damaging for the young minds. So many of them were quite passionate about spreading awareness and opening the parents' eyes to the dangers of this content. And still at a point where the science is kind of just emerging, and there aren't that many studies on very young kids, but there's a consensus that this content is not good, and all the experts mostly were trying to get this information out and reveal to the parents of the true size of damage that it can bring to their children.
And how was the collaboration with these experts? How did you find it?
Well, for some, these are quite specialized doctors and psychologists, and it was a bit difficult to get through to some of them. And but from the point that we started talking, and they started telling me and developing the subject further. They were quite keen on sharing this information and getting it out. Many of them have experience and have worked clinically, or they have practical experience with the topic. And as you were asking me about the local dimension, this is a very scattered phenomenon. It's on screens, on the TV, on YouTube, on the internet. They are very spread, and they're very present in the lives of people. So these experts, they've encountered the phenomenon, and they're trying to get out the information with parents.
And just the last thing, from your perspective, who needs to protect our children from this phenomenon? Still, it's not like we are in a society that it's not governed by rules.
So the rules and the laws are there, but they're not being applied, kind of. We've spoken to the EU, and they're trying to get things working on this, but they seem to be having other topics in focus. And generally, it's a phenomenon that goes under the radar of the EU authorities, but also on national level, there's close to zero awareness about these effects of this type of content. So the national authorities would have something to do with this. YouTube would have something to do with this, and other platforms that distribute this type of content, such as Netflix. But given that they're not coerced, or there is no repercussions from the authorities, then there's no incentive for them to change their distribution model. And even at the local level, the effects can be seen as it emerged from speaking with the specialists, who were also based locally, and they've seen it in their communities. And we also have authorities that should be dealing with this type of issues on the local level, on the national level, and kind of continental level. And it's also the part of parents to regulate the consumption of this type of content in their kids' lives. But more or less, it's only them that end up trying to regulate the consumption of this type of content, while the effects are widespread and could be a serious danger to our societies.
This podcast is part of S-Info, a European project funded by the EU, focused on media and driven by the need to strengthen democracy. The views expressed are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the position of the European Union. Discover all the investigation on sinfo-project.eu.